If you're driving, please remember to use your car's Bluetooth speaker while listening to the AM Drive. Sports talk is not worth your safety or the safety of others.
Grab your popcorn and sit back.
Jump the gun. Oh, no, give me more than that. Okay, go this way. That was dumb. We are.
How could I tell you when nobody wants to? Your favorite words I would show.
Happy Top 5 Monday to everyone in the sports universe. This is the AM Drive here on July 31st, 2023. For Aaron Crouch, I am Michael Carvalho saying, what's going on, Aaron? How was your sports weekend, if anything?
My sports weekend was non-existent. I bet a little bit of baseball, but that was about it.
The Twins win that game?
No, the Royals are killing me right now.
The Royals?
Yeah, the Royals. The Royals. The first time this year they've won 3 in a row, and it's when I'm betting the Twins.
Good job. It was like a 182, wasn't it? It shouldn't have been too bad.
We'll be all right. We'll get it back.
MikeandAaronDrive.com for the best in our merchandise, sponsors, and more. You got to check it out. It's the best way and most efficient way to support our show. Get awesome phone cases on our shop. And, of course, mugs. I believe Aaron's tumbler must be still in the dishwasher.
I am not a company man today. I don't have anything.
That's okay, sir. It's just
I got
it's just
my friend.
Huh?
I got my friend right here.
Yes. I like that. All right. So let's start off with something we could have got to Friday, but we're running out of time. It's this Chiefs dynasty talk. And I've heard some pundits say things about it. Of course, the Chiefs homer Nick Wright, which I do actually like to watch, but he can be a little biased. And he's talking about how if they win it this year, it's going to be like the best 5-year run in NFL history, whatever. Are the Chiefs a dynasty at this point in time to you, Aaron? And if not, why?
So, for me, a dynasty, short answer for the Chiefs is no. For me, a dynasty is 3 in at least a 5-year period. So right now I have Cowboys, Patriots twice, obviously, but things like that. If the Chiefs win it this year, 100% they're in. But I mean, don't take it from me. I mean, Pat Mahomes has already also debunked the Chiefs dynasty claims as of right now. However, they are the favorites. They're incredible. Pat Mahomes is an absolute stud. And but as I define a dynasty, they are currently not.
Okay, and I know a lot of Patriots fans. I know they like the 3 and the 5 years. I know I believe with you the Patriots are a twice like they've done it at least twice.
They were 3 and 4 years.
Yeah, but I mean but overall they are 2 separate dynasties. It feels like because it was so long, which I do get that. To me, a dynasty. I don't know if you have to win 3 in 5 years. In my opinion, I think for a 5-year run you do have to be dominant. I think it's a minimum of 5 years. I don't know if you have to win. I would say hopefully 2 of something, and maybe getting to a. I don't think I would have to say you have to win 3 of something. I think in a 5-year period, if you are dominant and you are consistently dominant, you've won at least 2. I can get down with dynasty talk, but it has to be a minimum of 5 years.
The only way I'm going to allow 2 to enter the conversation is back-to-back.
I mean, let's say year 2 you win it, and year 5 you win it, and you've been I don't think the Chiefs are a dynasty yet. I think this year could make them one.
Right, and that's why I don't think they are. Like I said, if they do 3 in 5 years, including a back-to-back, that's for sure in. But, I mean, you look at it, they won the title, lost in the Super Bowl, lost in the AFC title game, and then won a Super Bowl, and then, again, to be determined here if they win this one. That would define your dominance. Do you define it now with two titles in 4 years? But you just talked about dominance. I mean, they won, like I said, 2 titles, a Super Bowl loss and an AFC Championship loss. You can't get much more dominant than that.
I agree, but to me, the word dynasty, like the definition of it, one of them is a succession of people from the same family who play a prominent role, which, of course, that's like royally speaking. But if I'm like basing it on that terminology and, of course, the sports terminology, I can't just say, oh, they had a 4-year magical run. I think if you get 5, 6, 7 years and they're like, okay, now this team was dominant for 5, 6, 7 years. I think we're so narrow-minded in sports now.
Well,
like Patriots would laugh at this 4-year run.
I mean, yeah, if you look at it that way, but I think the word dynasty has been handed out a little bit more willy-nilly lately.
Agreed.
However, to defend that, I will say that in the free agent / player empowerment era, it is much harder to do what these teams are doing. And I think, like I said, I wouldn't label this Chiefs a dynasty if everything stopped right here. If they got one more this year, obviously they're in. But I mean, the core is there: Pat, Travis, and Andy Reid. I mean, I know we've had Hunt, Isaiah Pacheco. Yeah, there's been some movements. Tyreek Hill's gone, obviously. So, but the three, core is there. Obviously, the Bill Belichick, Tom Brady core was there for both those dynasties. Jimmy Johnson, et cetera. The list goes on and on. Pittsburgh and such. It's, to me, I don't know. Like, I think if it stopped right here, like if they got to the Super Bowl and lost, they got to the Super Bowl again and lost, I think you're contradicting yourself in terms of dominance. Two Super Bowls, 2 Super Bowl L's, and an AFC Championship L. I mean, in the era of
that would be a dynasty in my eyes, because they would have the 2 in 5 years.
See, that's funny, because that's like the slightest part where we differ. I think 3 is the minimum.
But I think 3 is pushing, especially in today's era, like you said.
Right, and like I said, it's easier to lower the bar in today's era. But I mean, still, we want to talk about legitimate dynasties. I mean, we don't consider the Steelers a dynasty, and they won 2 and 4.
And that's what I'm saying, because like it basically stopped at 4. To me, this is like hot. I don't want to call this flash in the pan because it feels like with a young quarterback or prime quarterback, it doesn't feel like that. But we don't know if they make it like to the divisional round and lose. I don't think that's a dynasty. I think it was just a flash. It was a nice run.
Well, to me, I don't think you can have dynasty mean or with anything but winning. I don't think that's right. I don't think these can be like, oh yeah, good job, you almost got there. Like if they get to the Super Bowl this year and lose, I still don't think you can make them a dynasty at that point.
I think you could.
See,
I mean, it's still a pretty high bar. I think if they get to the AFC Championship game again, because again, like they just won the Super Bowl, it's hard enough to get back there as it is. If they've already got 2 and another appearance, so that's like technically you've dominated your own conference 3 times. If they make it to a championship game, and even if they lose, that's where I'll stop it. I might still have to wait another year. But I think I can say more so of a dynasty. But right now, I'm not going to say it after 4 years. Heck no.
But after 2 years, or after 4 years, they have the 2 wins, obviously. Right. And then look at the fashion in which the other 2 years, what happened the other 2 years. I mean, in the Super Bowl against the Bucs, they got destroyed. And then in the AFC Championship game against Burrow, they blew a lead, which we know that's not Chiefs football. I mean, remember they were
right. Oh yeah.
They blew a lead. Joe Burrow came back on them in Arrowhead to beat them. So, I mean, you almost have to pull down a little bit with that.
I don't know, because, again, like, you've already made 3 of them. You won 2 of them. And to be fair, the last one, nobody thought they would.
I did.
Well, I mean, but I'm talking about not me and you, because we've gotten this pretty right, I feel like, a few times. But other people did not feel that way.
No, I mean, they were the dogs in the Super Bowl. But you look at it, I mean, and I'm not going to ever take anything away from a team winning a Super Bowl. They won it. I don't care how they won it. But if I'm going to dissect, they needed a Jalen Hurts fumble to come back in this Super Bowl. They needed a Jimmy Garoppolo, one of his regular passes.
Bad.
I mean, they're almost 0-3 in Super Bowls, theoretically. I mean, but they're not. They're not. It doesn't matter. They are 2-1. But another Super Bowl, like if they get to the Super Bowl this year and it's like neck and neck battle and, just happens to bounce the wrong way, game winning field goal for whatever NFC team is there, I can't put them in. I can't.
Really?
I can't make it a
with 4 appearances in 5 years, see, that would definitely do it. If they make it this year, I don't care if they get blown off. I don't care if it's 43-8 like the Broncos game. I feel like getting there for 4 times with that. Well, like, okay, I can't deny it at that point because they've already got their 2.
So getting there 4 times matters. What if they lost all 4 of those? Are they still a dynasty?
Oh, because then the Bills. I mean, no one calls
then
the Bills
Bills
dynasty. That's a good point.
Yeah, then the Bills have something to say here.
Wait a minute, guys! I told you. Jeez.
The Bills could be argued as a dynasty, but it's just not the one you would really be thinking of. I mean, 4 Super Bowls is hard. Let's not put let's not put salt on that. But you didn't win
4 in a row. That's even worse.
That's got to be tough. That's got to be tough to come back from, and they haven't yet. I don't know. I mean, I take it straight from Mahomes. For me personally, it's nothing against the Chiefs. It's not like a Patriots thing where you're not allowed to join the club. It's to me, I think dynasty is associated with winning. Dominance is obviously there, but finishing the job is what I classify as dynasties.
Did the Patriots and Spurs, last thing I'll say, did the Patriots and Spurs set a new bar for dynasties in the modern, I don't know if it's modern era, but did they set a new bar considering it felt like for 10 years, Patriots and Spurs. Does that feel like you set a new bar?
Spurs were what, 5 out of 10 or something like that? 5 out of 12?
That's pretty good, yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I think it has to at least last 5 or 6 years. I don't want to see a 4-year. That's a dynasty. I don't agree with that. Even if they won 4 in a row.
If they won 4 in a row, that's a dynasty. That's a dynasty.
I don't know, because what if it just stops after 4 and they don't do anything for another 10?
But dynasties are small segments though. Like the Patriots and the Spurs are different types. Like the Spurs never won back-to-back in that whole time. They never went back-to-back the entire time of their reign.
Right.
They could have if they had beaten LeBron, if Ray Allen doesn't make that shot, but they didn't.
That's right.
The Patriots go 3 out of 4 twice, and the first time they went 3 out of 4, they missed the playoffs that middle year.
Oh.
The second time they go 3 out of 4, they made the Super Bowl and lost to the Eagles.
Wow.
Yeah, they went to 4 straight and then lost to the Eagles in one of them. So those are two different types of dynasties. But I don't know. I mean, for me, dynasty, especially in the free agent era, has to be looked at in a short period. Because, I mean, you could argue the Patriots are a dynasty for 15 years because of what they go to, like 9 more AFC championship games.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, that's a different type of dynasty because of the 2 core, Brady and Belichick. But that's an outlier. That's such an outlier because that was almost 20 years of dominance. The Spurs are next with like 5 and 12, but never really a back-to-back. And then they had a big gap after 2007 for like 3 or 4 years where they weren't in the. That's
a fair point.
So I think you have to look at dynasties as smaller windows, 4 to 5 year windows. If you get 3, I'm in. That's
based on the definition of the word dynasty of like the 2 that I see right here. It's like a line of hereditary rulers of a country, which obviously lasts a while, or a succession of people from the same family. So I don't know where sports fans pulled the word dynasty from, but it's definitely not a 4 or 5 year period, it feels like. I don't know if in sports it's like way less, but I feel like the word dynasty in my mind sounds longer. That's why I have to do the 5 year thing.
5 years is fine, but I think
at least.
I think you got to get 3, in my opinion.
3 and 5. Okay, that's good. If that's, I can kind of get down with that.
The Warriors are 1. They got 3 and 5.
I think Warriors have been dominant for a little. I think Warriors are dynasty because they have been dominant for at least 5 years.
Right, but I'm talking about that period. They went to 5 straight finals and won 3 of them.
Forget the period. I feel like this whole Steph Curry thing has been a nice little dynasty.
I think since then, I mean, pre-dynasty, Steph had ankle problems. We didn't even know he was ever going to play.
That's fair.
But getting Clay, Draymond, Coach Kerr, which, you know, we can go on that argument with Coach Kerr and Coach. I mean, it is what it is. It's you know, you're never going to be able to look back on it. We had the same problem in Tampa here with Gruden and Dungy. Everybody will always say Dungy's team. It's like, well, he couldn't win with him. He couldn't get that far, and Gruden did it. Whatever you want to say or not, he did it. So
whether he's this or
yeah, exactly. So I don't know. For me, we have similar but different expectations.
It's close.
Your expectations are being there at the end. My expectations are winning at the end for a dynasty, for a quality team. I mean, the Packers were a quality team for a decade, 12 years, but for one title. The Atlanta Braves, how many freaking division titles did they win in a row? Are they a dynasty?
That's a division dynasty.
Well, they're a division title dynasty, sure, but they're not a dynasty. We don't talk about them in the dynasty realm,
right?
You know, because they got one. And then
I
think they lost one the next year to the Yankees.
I have to see you getting there, and I have to see you at least making the title or the championship game a bunch of times too.
I need you to win 3. I mean, I'm thinking it's, and the thing is funny. It's as great as the Spurs were. Like, people don't even think about them in the dynasty in the talk. I mean, simply because it was like when they didn't win the title, they were like not good the next year. They were like okay the next year. They got beat by the Lakers, obviously the 3-peat. I mean, the Lakers. We didn't even talk about the Lakers. That 3-peat,
right?
With Kobe and Shaq.
I don't think LeBron in the Heat is a dynasty.
I don't either. 2-4.
And I don't. You only lasted for 4 years as a roster. Yeah, no.
That's so weird. That was just such a weird. Like, it was like, oh crap, this isn't gonna work. Oh yeah, oh crap, we're done. It was so weird.
Rangers. Oh, go ahead.
Rangers. Yeah, go ahead. Let's talk about.
Rangers got Max Scherzer in a trade, which I thought is a low key good move, especially for a win now team, which seems like they are kind of are. And if, good Lord, if DeGrom ever gets healthy, that'd be fantastic. That'd be even better. And then I love the fact the Mets GM is saying, we're not going to have a fire sale. Oh, this doesn't help. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I can understand that. I mean, good for the Rangers. Is Max Scherzer, like, it's not like he's pitching lights out of his mind. He's one of the reasons the Mets are even considering this fire sale, quote unquote. So, him and Verlander have drastically underachieved. I think. Don't be surprised to see Verlander out the door as well. I wouldn't be surprised to see Verlander back in Houston. We'll see what happens with that. But we have a week, or excuse me, we have a day until the trade deadline is over.
6 p.m. Eastern, I think, or tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow, yeah. I don't know. This one, I could see the Mets. I understand what he's saying with, like, we're not a fire sale, because they do have a core that I think they intend to keep. However, I think these 2 high-priced free agents that they just signed in the last 2 years with Scherzer and Verlander, they're just, I mean, freaking Scherzer. I mean, Scherzer's making like $40 million. Verlander's making like $32 million. Like, get it off the books.
Played better, I think.
Yeah, they're going to eat some of that contract and just get them off the books. I mean, look, it didn't work. I mean, I know that's the kind of the MO of the Mets right now, but it's just it didn't work. So you can't blame Stevie Cohen for not trying. I mean, he's definitely trying, but it feels like they're the Angels of the East. You know, load up on all this known talent that just underperforms consistently year after year. I mean, it's been this way since they made the World Series back in 15, I think, 15 or 16. They've just been trying to chase that glory, and they're I don't want to say they're going about the wrong way, because there's nothing wrong with signing guys. It just seems like Scherzer and Verlander are just a little bit past where the Mets need them to be in terms of prime.
Which is sad, because Verlander's been good, but it's like, why trade for 2 old guys, to be fair, when you could just have like 2 30-year-olds who could probably pitch better?
Oh, well, not only that. I mean, Verlander was coming off freaking Tommy John surgery. Why did you give him $30 million?
Yeah, I don't get it. Why would you have 2? I don't see why having 2 of those guys was ever a smart thing. Like, I get trying, but to me, having 1 old guy for 32 or 40, sure. Having 2, kind of pushing it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, with regards to baseball, none of that matters to me, because the salary cap doesn't exist. So if they want to pay the luxury tax, I'm fine with it. But you just literally cut ties with Jacob deGrom because of all injuries and everything. He couldn't stay healthy. And then you brought in these two. It was like, well, did you learn your lesson or no?
Right. To be fair, the DeGrom thing looks good right now.
It does look good right now. You're correct.
Right. MikeandAaronDrive.com for the best in our show. Everything. It helps us out. Hashtag tremendously. All right. When we come back, it's all things NFL. And who doesn't love drama? Because the NFL's so good at that, and it doesn't even try. We'll be right back to the AM Drive Safe, baby.
All right, and welcome back to this Top 5 Tuesday, sponsored by our friends at Top 5 Monday. That's right.
Oh,
I'm so used to Top 5 Tuesday.
nostalgia.
Hold on. Welcome back to this Top 5 Monday on the AM Drive. Here we are presented by our friends at Shank It Golf. If you are looking to look good on the links this year or ever, because it's hot outside right now, you want some great sweat-resistant clothing, some great golf clothing, make sure you go to MikeandAaronDrive.com and click this logo, the Shank It Golf logo, or go to ShankItGolf.com. When checking out, use promo code AM Drive for 15% off your entire order. Tell them the boys at AM Drive sent you. We appreciate you guys.
For that, we shank you. Ooh.
Ooh, nice.
Hashtag shankful.
Hashtag shankful.
Oh, man, I don't know. I was trying to think of something. I knew everything it feels like we have a little tagline for each sponsor. Even the old butter clone. I feel like those, like we had our little tagline, now we got it shankful. I love it.
Yeah, what was Buttercloth? It was like
Like, if you want to feel so comfortable, it was just the way I said it, I think was the thing.
hashtag comfortable, or maybe that's what it was. I don't know.
Good. Oh.
R.I.P. Butter.
Huh?
R.I.P. Buttercloth.
Rest and piss, why don't you? Good Lord. See, when you lose us, I'm just letting you know. So,
Yeah.
Aaron...
Michael holds a grudge.
That's right. Aaron Rodgers, of course, because Jets are so busy trying to say, well, he's a jerk, that they're now sound like jerks, to be fair. I know Sean Payton went in on everybody, but Aaron Rodgers told NFL Plus, I didn't realize that was an actual thing now. I knew it was a thing, I didn't realize they were doing articles now. Anyways, it made me feel bad that someone who has accomplished a lot in the league is that insecure, speaking about Sean Payton, okay? He then added, I think it was way out of line, inappropriate, and keep my wife's name out your bleeping mouth. No, he said, I think he needs to keep my coach's names out of his mouth. Whose problem is this? It seems like the Jets are having more of a problem with this than anybody else is. I know that they were kind of the butt of the jokes, but it's like, dude, could y'all leave it alone now? Like, you seem to want this drama that Sean Payton created.
Well, it seemed like the drama wasn't even the Jets at first. I mean, I know he's like, oh, they're trying to win the offseason. You'll see it on Hard Knocks. But it felt like the drama was really an in-house thing where he was poking at Nathaniel Hackett and
the Broncos. He was coach on the Broncos.
Right, when he was coach of the Broncos. But at this point, I don't defend Aaron Rodgers a lot. But I call this as the new guy who is instantly the leader. Because don't forget, he's the quarterback. For him to take a stand, get with this team, a team that he hasn't been around, for what, maybe 5 months? No, not even that long. A couple months at most. And to basically, especially, well, he's got the relationship with Nathaniel Hackett. So to keep my coach's name out of your mouth, that is kind of they do have some kind of a connection there. But
he did say, to your point, real quick, that he said he was probably my favorite coach I've ever had, which was wild. But go ahead.
It's probably the only reason he's in New York too. So for me, I actually like Aaron Rodgers stepping up and basically, hopefully, if this is it for what if this story ends right here, if they continue to keep throwing unnecessary grenades at Denver, then yeah, we may say that Sean Payton's comments worked.
Right. Well, he was right.
Yeah, the Jets should do themselves a favor and not get entangled with anybody else the rest of the season, because they have expectations on the field that have nothing to do with people taking pot shots at you. Just say, look, week 5, we settle it on week 5. We'll see what happens. But,
so, like, this is what you're doing. This is what I need you to do.
But I will say this, as a one-off, maybe Aaron Rodgers shuts down the beef right here. I'm okay with it.
I can get down with that. I don't want to have too much pushback there because I get your point, but also I feel like it was kind of a little like a day or two late. But like you said, as long as the tackle kept it a hashtag Bountygate, which I personally loved as a Colts fan, as long as Robert Saleh had a one little answer to the press conference, and as long as Aaron Rodgers keeps it at this, I agree. If it ends here, then the Jets are fine. If it does not, Sean Payton was right. Fine line to walk.
Yeah, I still think that I think Sean Payton put an unnecessary target on his back. I still maintain at this point in time that was a stupid thing to say, and we'll see.
It's ironic that Sean Payton put a target on his own back, considering he should put a target on all the quarterbacks' heads. Drama. Jonathan Taylor. You caught the reference, right?
I did.
Okay. Aaron, this is a really, really ugly story that turned really ugly in about 24 hours' time because of this idiot, Jonathan Taylor. Ooh. So hear me out. Jim Irsay in no way took a shot at Jonathan Taylor. He was saying, based on the CBA that people agreed to, I thought the tweet was very friendly. I didn't think he took a shot at his own player. And then immediately afterwards, you hear Jim Irsay kind of apologize. And it was like, wait a second. Did Jonathan Taylor get pissed? I'm like, okay, well, who cares, right? Nothing happened there. Then, all of a sudden, Jonathan Taylor requests a trade. I'm like, well, wait a minute now. Then, the Colts think, like, their sources say, which, sources are not just going to sit there and say crap. The fact, I think most of them in the NFL are pretty reliable. So the fact that I think it was Ian Rappaport, had the story, or whoever it was, he said Jonathan Taylor, they were going to put him on the non-football injury list because of back pain, which all of a sudden the trade goes out the window. And then Jonathan Taylor, to make things even 10 times worse, gets on Twitter and says, check your sources, I don't have any back pain. How in the world can anybody defend a running back in the history of the NFL at this point? This is the dumbest thing I have ever seen. Your owner takes a very subtle jab at the process going on here. Again, John Taylor, as far as we knew, had no drama with the Colts so far. He was the offense, and all of a sudden, one little tweet, that's what divorced Jonathan Taylor? Like, were you already having an affair? What is going on here? It is so weird. It spiraled out of control in like the span of 12 to 24 hours.
It feels like to me the result of that Zoom call where one guy throws a temper tantrum. If he doesn't get what he wants, he signs and goes away. And then the next guy steps up and throws a temper tantrum and hopefully gets what he wants and then signs.
And Saquon gets screwed. Go ahead.
Saquon didn't have to sign his own deal. He could have played.
Andrew Thomas, the day after, was funny, though.
But that's the thing. It's like Andrew Thomas is protecting the blind side of both you and Daniel Jones. So that there's value in that position. Saquon, you want to get paid? Go put on 100 pounds and block for everybody. It's funny how much we crap on offensive linemen until they can't protect the quarterback, and then all of a sudden they're the most important thing on the team, which they should have been all along. Anyways, Jonathan Taylor, like, I don't understand these guys who are coming off injury-riddled seasons because you had one great season, you expect to be paid. It's like, I don't blame these GMs. You don't pay for past performance. You pay for future projections. And
sometimes past does help with that. You're right.
Sure. If your past is more than one season, that's why Derrick Henry gets paid, and that's why Christian McCaffrey gets paid. They do it. I mean, yes, Christian McCaffrey had some injury-prone problems, and I was a little shocked at Christian McCaffrey being the highest-paid running back. But again, I'll liken this back to Deshaun Watson. Just because, and I'm not saying that this deal with Christian McCaffrey is stupid. I'm just saying just because one team makes a bold and or stupid decision doesn't mean they all have to make it. That's what we told Lamar Jackson. That's what we told Saquon Barkley. That's what we told Josh Jacobs. That's what we've told
Dalvin Cook, who apparently wants the boat.
and we're going to tell Jonathan Taylor that too at this point. Like, I understand you're making $4 million. Are you underpaid? Sure. But this is a contract. Like, I'm glad that there is fan pushback, and obviously the owners because they signed the contracts. But I'm glad there's a little bit of fan pushback saying, hey, look, when you sign a contract, sorry, man, if you outperform it, that's just, those are the breaks. And I understand running back's a different animal at this point, and maybe what Saquon and Jonathan Taylor and Josh Jacobs are doing will have a positive effect. Right now, they may have to crawl so that other running backs can walk. But right now, it's, when you're going from making 4 to asking for 16, you're not going to win. If you go from 4 to probably 10, I bet Jim Irsay would open up the checkbook tomorrow.
Aaron, the thing that bugs me the most about this is, like, I kind of ended on a joke about having an affair. Like, Jonathan Taylor, how long was this on your mind that the tweet that was, again, very low, very soft kind of thing that Jim Irsay said? Like, I don't think anybody took offense to that. I think they're like, yeah, they're right. The CBA was signed, and these guys won't shut up. It's like, was Jonathan Taylor secretly, like, just waiting for that tipping point to look good? It's so weird how this worked. Like, how fast he requested a trade. How fast he said, oh, watch your sources. The source of the football team trying to put you on the NFL, you idiots.
It's fair. I agree with Jim Irsay. I don't know if it necessarily needed to be tweeted. Do we still call them tweets? What do we call them?
So it's funny. They've updated the logo in parts, but it's still like tweets. Are they going to be expressions? Which, oh my God, no, please no.
Expressions. I kind of like that. Not.
I don't know.
Really, but I mean, as far as trying to find something for it, expressions. I don't know. I don't hate it. It sounds kind of cool.
That's right. It just Jim Irsay we know is an outspoken owner. Maybe not as much as Jerry Jones and some others, but he might be second or third, if that makes sense.
I'd say he's probably number 2 now that Dan Snyder's gone.
Dan Snyder had to be that was unspoken stuff that he did. So.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like I said, these guys. I don't think the quarterback position and the running back position are the same. You guys coming up for contract extensions aren't going to get the next highest paid. It just doesn't work that way for your position. So
it comes across as greed at this point.
Go get 10 to 12. I mean, it is what it is. You're not going to be, you're not going to be beaten out. Who's the next running back that you would say I would genuinely pay $17 million a year?
God, Lee Day. Christian McCaffrey. No, I'm kidding. I don't know.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, you're not wrong with that, but it's like there's not a running back out there that's done it for enough years in a row. The only one I can think of is Nick Chubb.
Frank Gore. That's because has Chubb really been hurt? I don't think he has really.
He may have had an injury or two here, but no significance. No significant injuries.
Chubb's a good one.
And he's been
any 49ers running back. Deebo Samuel.
Well, he got paid like a receiver, not a running back.
Right.
Which look now his production with Christian McCaffrey there, and his production fell last year. Deebo did. So he got paid at the right time.
So Thursday Night Football, correct me, is this week, right?
I think the Hall of Fame game's this week, yeah.
Wow. And
it's here.
Wilson, huh?
It's here.
That's right. Woo! And Zach Wilson's being thrown to the Wolves. Which I don't know if it's just the Wolves. I don't think I've ever watched this Hall of Fame game like more than a quarter in my life, which really like surprised me because like, everybody's like, so excited for football, but this one never speaks out. Because to be fair, preseason is like a week and a half afterwards, so it's kind of like a weird preseason game.
Outlier game, yeah.
Yeah. So Zach Wilson's gonna play. Is this the beginning of? Because we also have heard that Matt Corral is going to play for the Panthers, even though Bryce Young is already QB1 over Andy Dalton. But it's interesting. Like, is this a Zach Wilson kind of trade bait thing, or is this a let's see what Zach Wilson's got because Aaron Rodgers is 40 years old?
I mean, they're always going to continue to see what they have in Zach Wilson because you're right. After this 2-year plan with Aaron Rodgers, they're back to the drawing board. So, I mean, I don't know if this is a display or anything. I don't think they would trade Zach Wilson this season. Like, in the season, they don't have a backup quarterback. I mean, they don't have anybody else. I mean, Mike White's gone.
Yep.
So, I mean, you're just basically just trying to see what you have with Zach Wilson. I wouldn't put too much stock or emphasis in whether he does well or poorly. I mean, he's not going to take the starting job. We know that.
Right. For now.
If they want to trade him, fine, go ahead, and you can, settle for a backup. But then you got to figure out. I don't see any way in the world Aaron Rodgers is playing more than 3 more years. And I'm going to say it's probably 2, especially if he gets a ring, which.
If he gets a ring in year 1, do you think he leaves?
No, because I think he did commit with the restructuring of the deal. I think he did commit to 2 years.
Did you hear about the conspiracy behind that Mike Florio said?
No.
Apparently, it's some illegal thing that they think that Aaron Rodgers. Mike Florio was just saying this as a thought that there's a way Aaron Rodgers could have ownership make way more money, but apparently it's against the NFL contract rules or whatever. But supposedly it might be. Supposedly, if Aaron Rodgers in 3 or 4 years becomes an owner, he'll make all that money back and then way more. Because of the way something has to happen, but apparently it could get ugly. But there are some people that are like, okay, well, let's just wait and see if that happens.
I've always kind of wondered about stuff like that. It's like, I could sign somebody to some team-friendly deal and then just cut them a check on the side for the rest of the money.
$35 million is a lot of money to lose for Aaron Rodgers.
For a person who spent the better part of their career worrying about money, it is a weird concept to lose that. Yeah, there's got to be some handshake that we're not privy to. But like I said, I've never quite understood why the things don't happen like that. Like, oh yeah, I'll that extra $30 million, I'll just write it to your charity. I'll just write a check to your charity there.
Charity, right? Good.
Yeah.
ShankItGolf.com, code AMDrive for 15% off. Find it easily on MikeandAaronDrive.com. We'll be right back. MLB Top 5.
All right, our friends at Agridime are here for you this grilling season. Make sure you head over to MikeandAaronDrive.com and click the logo. It looks just like the fanned cow or the cow with a big right over his head. Promo code AMDrive when you get there for 10% off your entire order. Get the best in meats and all of your essentials for this grilling season and smoking season as well. Don't forget smokers, man. Smokers are not those kind of smokers.
Oh, come on, man. Live high, baby. Okay.
I don't think Agridime sells that kind of merchandise. So, have you ever smoked a joint in your life?
I refuse.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Have you?
Maybe.
Don't answer that. Your son is watching.
No, my son is sleeping.
He's going to watch every future episode when he grows up.
Cool. We have a view. We have at least one future view in the coming up.
You're going to be subscriber number 51.
Let's go. He's right here. He's on the screen. Oh, you can't see it, but
that's so sad.
You can't see it because of the glare, but
rough. He is a cute kid, just to let you folks know. So that was a recent appearance.
All he has is my, so that's it. So.
Oh. Well, there goes those phone calls.
Welcome back.
Woo-hoo! All right. Aaron, would you like to go first before you cut off again?
I cut off. You cut off.
Shame on you.
You're the one whose screen went black. That was weird.
According to me, you're the one who disappeared. So just
well, according to me, you're the one who disappeared. So
we'll play it back and we'll see the replay.
All right, July 31st, MLB top 5 teams. Not much shakeup. I just have one little switcheroo, so I'll go quickly here since I know you struggled over yours this week.
Oh.
For me, Atlanta still takes the top spot. The Braves, best team in the MLB. It shows. They beat down the Brewers this weekend as well. Moving up to number 2 for me is those Birds, those Baltimore Orioles. I got them number 2. I know they lost 2 or 3 to the Phillies, but they took 2 or 3 to the Yankees, hopefully effectively making them sellers at the deadline, the Yankees. But we'll see. 3 sliding down one spot is the Dodgers. I know they're still leading the NLS, but they went 4-6 the last 10. So for me, I slid them down. The Reds had some words for the Dodgers this week. So I'll slide the Dodgers down one peg into the 3 spot. Texas is still holding up to 4. They just seem to kind of be running stalemate right now. They're holding off the Astros just well enough. I hate to say it, if they overtake the Astros, the Texas Rangers will fall out of my top 5. And the Tampa Bay Rays are number 5 for me, still holding on to that 5th spot. But they are technically wins-wise tied with the Orioles, but they have played 3 more games, and all 3 of those are losses. So they will move up if they can reclaim that AL East lead as well. So we'll see. But for right now, Atlanta, Baltimore, the LA Dodgers, Texas Rangers, and Tampa Bay Rays.
Hey, shut up. Okay, number 1 for me, the Atlanta Braves are still at a plus 151. The most impressive stat to me on their entire resume is their road record is better than their home record at 32-17. Hashtag postseason. Number 2 are the Dodgers. The Dodgers are at plus 88 still. And, yeah, they're kind of playing with their food as well, but I think in the end they're going to be right there. Number 3 are the Baltimore Orioles. I actually had the Orioles at number 2 last week, but they did hold on to the number 3 spot, though, because they are now 1.5 games back, and I think their trajectory is like this, and the Rays are like this right now. Number 4, the Rays are still right there because they're still at plus 135. Now, granted, that number is kept on dropping, which means they keep on losing, and that's not a good thing. But they did take 2 out of 3 against the Houston Astros, and they're still 37-19 at home. So they're hanging on. Rangers are also hanging on, and if they had not made the move for Max Scherzer, and if they did not have a plus 145 run differential, it would be very boiling hot water because I think the Giants and the Reds are right there.
And the Astros, too.
Yes. So all that good stuff.
It's just funny you mentioned that because you had the Astros. You were in love with the Astros for most of the year, and now that they're actually playing good baseball, you're not in love with them anymore. So it's fair. Like you said, if they can add an arm at the deadline, even if it's Verlander, we'll see what happens here.
Back to the Astros, huh?
Back to life. Anyways, that's an old song. You don't know that song.
I know.
So enjoy your Monday. Enjoy your sports week, everybody. We appreciate you guys tuning in, listening, and of course, support all of what we've got going on at MikeandAaronDrive.com. So for Michael Carvelis, I am Aaron Crouch saying gamble responsibly, and as always,
drive safe, Thundercats.
Meow.